Cool. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Kaylee, let me know when we're good with the recording.
We're all good whenever you're ready.
Okay, cool. For joining everyone. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Hey everyone, thanks for joining our community call. We are basically kicking off a new round of calls now, kind of reinvigorating them. And I guess one of the first things to mention as a part of that is we are giving out a POAP, so a proof of attendance protocol for everyone who's joining today. And I can see Patricio is on the call, so thanks for joining, Patricio. He looks after POAP, so Kendria's gonna go through the instructions to collect stuff at the end, so you basically don't have to forget them, but it's all pretty easy from as far as I can remember. So looking forward to that. In terms of what we're doing, we are hopefully recording the call, and we can share it later on different channels and stuff. But in terms of what we're going to go through today, is basically going to give a bit of an update about where we're at, what we've kind of delivered recently, and then also kind of a bit of roadmap stuff there, and then also give an opportunity for anyone to kind of ask a bunch of questions as they wish on what we're doing and where things are going. And I think the other chunk of the call that we kind of wanted to present today was kind of launch of our community fund and how you can get involved and what that means, etc. So Kendria is here to kind of run us through that, and she's joined a bit over a month ago now as a head of community. So I'm really excited to kick that off and get more people involved in the protocol and doing different things. So yeah. That's kind of a very quick overview of what we're looking at. So I thought I'd just start with perhaps a bit of a high-level update, and then kind of go through a few of the details about what we've kind of delivered recently, and then also what we're looking at coming up. So I guess we're probably focusing on two core things, roughly of equal importance. One is kind of enhancing the core mechanics of the protocol. So I kind of describe what we've built at Nexus to be all of the different mechanics. I think they're directionally correct, but I think they could definitely do with fine-tuning and making them a bit more crypto native and those types of things. So we're definitely working hard along that path with a whole bunch of different enhancements. And then the other thing that we're focusing a lot on is very outward-facing, and that's distribution. So we're looking at ways to get cover purchases closer to, I guess, point of sale. So basically, if you're putting money in a protocol, it's very easy to kind of buy one-click coverage of that type of stuff. That's the type of thing we're working on doing. So a lot of the enhancements that we're doing to the protocol will also kind of support that as well. So yeah, there's lots of activity going along on those sides, and it takes some time to execute, but it's going on quite positively. So those are kind of the really two high level things that we're aiming to do over the next, I suppose that's probably likely to be a year, just increasing on focus on all of those as we go. So in terms of some specifics on what we've done recently, so there's been a lot of work on the UI. Hopefully some noticed, kind of rewrote the entire UI gradually, so we'll kind of finish that now. Added some more wallet support, got some really good stats on the staking and stuff now, so you can get a bit more detailed information on historic events and stuff like that. So hopefully that makes things a bit clearer for everyone. And I think the other kind of ones that have been put through quite recently are we've increased the staking leverage from 10 times to 15 times. So you can basically earn more rewards on the staking side of things. There's also more risk there, so be aware of that. And so that's kind of a pretty good change. In general, we expect that staking leverage should increase further over time as the protocol grows and stuff. So hopefully, as things expand and everything, we should be able to increase that from 15 to even higher. So that's kind of one of the really big benefits we have as a mutual, it's all about capital efficiency and leverage. The other big one, which it's not quite live yet, but is protocol cover, and so that's a pretty big enhancement in terms of the actual product that we're offering. So essentially, what we're doing is replacing smart contract cover with protocol cover, which is a wider, more complete definitions in terms of what's covered in terms of claims. And so it covers not only the smart contract bugs, but economic attacks. Also governance attacks and Oracle attacks. So it specifically covers some of the stuff that's arisen in DeFi over the past little while since our initial product was released. So I guess the important aspect there is it won't go live until, I'm trying to remember the exact date, I think it's the 26th of April. And that's because what we're doing is we're passing it back to existing cover holders, so they'll get automatically upgraded to the new terms. And what we want to do is give stakers a chance to unstake if they wish to. And so I think today or tomorrow is probably the last day you can unstake, get past the 30-day wait period, and then you'd be okay. You wouldn't be exposed on the new cover wording. So that's kind of why we delayed it for a little bit until the actual release, so stakers could back out if they wish to. But that's going to be pretty big. I guess the other really important aspect of protocol cover is that it also specifically includes coverage for layer 2 systems and also products or protocols deployed on any chain. So you should be able to get cover. While Nexus is still on Ethereum, you can buy cover for protocols running on other chains on Nexus. So that's a pretty big step as well, especially given more and more stuff going on multi-chain. And obviously layer 2 is kind of coming up really fast now on us as well. So that's pretty big. Then we've got a bit of a technical upgrade that hopefully should go live next week, which will deploy some upgraded contracts to basically interface with distributors a whole lot more easily and make it easy for integrators, distributors that integrate with us to be backwards compatible when other things change and stuff. So there's some good kind of more technical stuff there, but it really helps from a distribution integration perspective. Just looking at my notes, I guess the other big thing that's probably worth mentioning is investment earnings. So we've enabled the protocol to do investment earnings, and one of the first step that we were looking to do there was invest something like 10% of the pool into staked ETH, so Lido's staked ETH. We decided not to actually push the button on that, mainly because we've integrated with Uniswap and there's not a heap of liquidity for staked ETH on Uniswap. So what we're doing is we're just building essentially an adapter to allow us to integrate directly or via Curve to purchase reasonable volumes of staked ETH and not cause massive slippage. So that's kind of like step one on investment earnings. I guess there are other kind of future plans for investment earnings. One thing that I'm potentially or quite interested in doing and getting some community involvement in is I think we should be considering putting an additional 10 to 20% of the Ether pool into perhaps a slightly more aggressive allocation and ETH-based currency somehow. And so I'm kind of looking for various options that people that are available out there, etc. So that's one thing we may put out to the community fund as something for people to get involved in, to kind of do some research, bring back some options, and then we can kind of make a decision as the mutual as a whole as to which way we want to go. But I think there's scope to look at that and search for a few options. Cool. So that's kind of probably the more immediate stuff. In terms of kind of roadmap, there's quite a lot of stuff here. And the one kind of probably more immediate stuff that we're working on over the kind of coming months would be, there's kind of three things. One is called what we're calling now DeFi cover, which is, like, if you've heard us talk about it before, it's stacked risk cover, where you can basically cover a tokenized protocol and all of the risk underneath that protocol just with one cover based off one token. So, for example, I guess one of the most obvious things to do is for a Yearn vault or something like with YDI. It's got a whole bunch of different protocols underneath that, and so you want to cover the whole stack of risk, including like Tether or USDC having potential issues. And so one way we can do that, there's quite an elegant way to do that with a tokenized protocol. And so we're developing that new product, and that does require some smart contract work. So that's a kind of key piece. When you combine that with kind of two other things that we're looking to do, one is push the pricing on chain. So rather than have it as an off-chain API, always intended to do that, we just wanted to, it was much more flexible to have it off-chain while we were still working out the best approaches on pricing. So we're going to be looking to put the pricing on chain. And then we're also potentially looking at doing, I guess, what we're calling cover streaming. It's kind of basically make it a bit more flexible in terms of your cover. So allow you to increase the length of cover, increase the amount or decrease the amount, and kind of have it a bit more flexible. And so once we have those three mechanics, one thing that it very easily allows is vault-based coverage. So you can very easily create like a covered vault or something like that. And it's like tailored for that vault. And so whether that's a Yearn vault or other vaults that are obviously coming up and playing. So we think that's a really good way of users being easily able to just one-click cover. You're fully covered for everything. You don't have to worry about it. So I think there's going to be a lot of value there. And so that's the type of stuff that we're working towards. A bit further down the list after that are probably partial claims, primarily to allow us to create new products. It opens up the product design space massively. So a couple of kind of interesting ones potentially is like D&O cover for crypto businesses, which is directors and officers liability cover, that you basically can't get in the regular insurance markets right now because no one quotes for you. And there's also potentially like just liability cover for devs and a whole bunch of different products, but there are probably some more specific ones for the crypto community that could be very useful. So partial claims, that's going to be a big one as well. And then probably after that is looking at staking again and streamlining a whole bunch of stuff. So, staking is working okay at the moment. It could be working better, but we're probably looking at some other stuff first to kind of increase demand first, and then come back to the staking. I guess there's a couple of other questions that have, before I hand over to, and then we can go to Kendria. There's probably a couple of key questions that people have asked over the past couple of months and quite regularly, so I'll probably just address those. First one is layer 2. Which layer 2 are you going to? Basically, we don't know. We're looking to be a fast follower on this stuff. We're not quite sure how the space is going to evolve, and it's going to be a lot easier for us to shift to layer 2 once we have more of these protocol level enhancements complete. So we're going to focus on those first, see where the wider industry kind of moves, and then look to follow that. I guess the two big things that cause us a bit of pain probably three things that cause us the most pain on the gas side are claims voting, which happens less frequently, but it's quite painful when it does. The governance voting as well, and then of course staking as well. So those are the kind of three elements that are a bit more painful. Another question we get quite regularly is other chains. Are we launching on BSC or some other chain, etc.? Our biggest challenge with that is all about keeping the capital pool together and not fragmenting liquidity. So it's really quite challenging to just easily deploy another chain because you need the scale and the capital pool before you can start offering cover and stuff like that. So it's always a challenge on that side of things. The way that we're thinking about it right now, and it's definitely open to change, is that we could more easily allow cover purchases on other chains that then get bridged to Ethereum, and then we keep the capital pool and everything running on Ethereum. So most of it still just runs on Ethereum, but you can kind of bridge out cover buys and a few other bits and pieces, and that keeps the capital pool in one place. A lot of technical detail to work through there, but that's the current headspace at the moment, which, subject to change. And the third, I guess, big question is when MCR, which everyone asks all the time. Basically, I don't know. So for those of you who don't quite know what that means, basically the MCR, the minimum capital requirement, the funds in the mutual are basically equal to that. So it's at 100%. The MCR percentage is at 100%. And once it's at 100%, it means you can't cash out directly on the mutual, so you can't burn your NXM for ETH. And that's to make sure that the mutual has enough money to pay claims. And so it's kind of we're in this position where what happens is if we generate surplus or investment earnings, basically any extra funds come into the mutual, then someone cashes out. Usually there's a bot, there's a few bots out there that basically takes some wrapped NXM from the market and then sends it into the bonding curve and takes the small amount of surplus that gets generated each time, and that pushes the MCR back to 100%. So as part of that process, every time we generate surplus or investment earnings, then effectively NXM is being burned. And so that will keep continuing until there's enough change in market sentiment for the wrapped NXM price to get back up to parity with NXM. And then the MCR could potentially go above 100%. So a lot of this is market sentiment driven. But in the meantime, NXM basically keeps burning as long as we keep making surpluses. So yeah, that's probably my gone on for a bit longer than I thought, but that's my update. I might just pause there, open up for a few questions, and then before we jump into the community fund stuff. So yeah, if you got a question, please jump on. All good. Well, we can come back to more questions. So please write them in the chat or something like that, and I can pick them up. All right, Kendria, I might hand over to you on the community fund, but a very quick intro from me. I'm really excited about this. We minted 250,000 NXM a little while ago now, but now we've kind of got the operations side of it all set up, and we're kind of kicking it off and opening up for submissions. So Kendria, welcome again to the team, and looking forward to you kind of taking this forward and basically being the coordination point for everyone who wants to kind of get involved. So take it away.
Excellent. Well, I guess it's good morning and good afternoon. I'm still trying to get all these time zones together. But before I start, I just really want to thank you and the rest of the team for such a warm welcome being here at Nexus. It's amazing. It's been an amazing experience to see how this protocol is being able to service our entire community by providing risk cover for such a volatile space, and knowing that while you're here, you can cover yourself. So I'm here, as you said, because of the community fund. And so what's that about? And basically, the way that I see it is that you can have an amazing protocol from a technical side, but along with that, you need a very strong community, and that's where you all come in, become involved in a great position for Nexus. And so what do we want? We want your skills. We want your expertise. We want you to help us grow the mutual and develop into the mammoth that we know that we are and that we're going to be. We want to hear from you as far as your ideas, potential projects, ranging from writing newsletters to creating videos to building on top of Nexus. All ideas are wanted and will be valued here. And so we've set up a rather simple process in order for you to be able to, one, communicate to us, to be able to apply for a grant with your ideas. And so basically what we've done, we've set up, and actually there'll be an article which you can find in our docs, but there's a simple form for you to fill out. And on that form, we want you to tell us about your project, how it's going to grow the mutual or how it's going to benefit the mutual. What are the things that you need? What is the estimated cost in NXM that you would like in order to be able to participate? You'll send that along again with your scope. And once we receive that, as a core team, we're going to go over that. We're going to ask you questions if we have questions. And then at that point, we're going to upload your proposal to our community forum. It's going to be there for 7 days. It's going to allow everyone, as far as the community is concerned, to make questions, observations. And from there, after 7 days, it'll move over to our snapshot and it'll be voted on. And if it's accepted, we will end up having it on our Discord, our page, the docs, Twitter, and then we'll move from there. But what's really most important is, again, we're only as strong as our community, and that's what I'm here for. I want to be that person that you will work with, that you will discuss your ideas with, that you'll bring all of you and your expertise. And so along with that, we've actually also set up a Calendly, so you can talk to me. You can set up 15-minute appointments. We can walk through your proposal, any questions that you may have. And so let me be a strength to you so that I can be a strength to Nexus. And I don't know. I don't want to overtalk it. I'm just really excited to be here. I think the community fund, it's an awesome time. The space is exploding. There's new ideas. They're cross-chains. And so here's an opportunity for you to empower the mutual by bringing your best to the table. So I want to welcome you all to the community fund. And again, let's make Nexus great.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'd just like to add a few extra pieces there because I am really excited about this, but just to perhaps give you a little bit of flavor as to the types of things that we could do here. One of the things about Nexus, which is perhaps a bit different to some other protocols, is that it's actually going to work with, it's actually going to need some specialist levels of to run this thing. And so you're going to need people that can assess. You're going to need people that can assess risk. You're going to need people that can be able to run investments and stuff like that. And so it's not always going to be technical grants to build smart contracts or UI or other stuff like that. We're also interested in the non-engineers and the non-devs and the finance people that are perhaps looking to get involved in DeFi but don't necessarily have engineering skills. And so I guess it's quite wide. Some of the smaller things could be helping us write our docs on. I know some people are already doing that. Some of the really big things could be building a distributor on top of Nexus, or building what are called like MGAs, or managing general agents, which are kind of like people that design their own products. They do their own underwriting, they do their own, but they need risk capital, and so they could build on top of Nexus for that. But then we also are going to need, those technical expertise like security experts and stuff to help write risk analysis on a particular protocol or something to help the community stake or something like that. So I guess what I'm saying here is it's not just the real technical engineering stuff. It's also technical financial stuff. And also marketing and a whole range of different pieces. So it is really broad. We're open to anything, and so just get involved and put your submission forward, and we can take it from there. Our goal as a team is not to be a gatekeeper here. It's to just get some consistency and get everything into the right order, I guess, to make sure that it's easy for the rest of the community to decide which things to go ahead. As I said, I'm really excited about launching this and getting more people involved.
You know what? Thank you for bringing that back. I'd actually forgotten that we do have an historic project that's going on right now. I think some of you have already used it. It was the swapper that Jack developed for us for the WNXM. We actually have him here today, so we're going to end up inviting him on to maybe share his screen and be able to show us what he's done for the mutual as an example of some of the things that we're looking for. And I also forgot there will be some criteria on which the grant will be based upon. And so it's really three. And if you just allow me to say it real quick, it's under awareness and education, there'll be distribution and sales and technical improvements and capabilities. So that's how the overall core team will be evaluating each proposal that comes in. So with that, Hugh, do we want to throw to Jack?
Yeah, that'd be great if Jack, if you're happy to show what you've built, that'd be great.
All right. I think I've put him on the spot. All right, well, I guess we can come back to Jack. Jack, you can hit me in the DM if you're going to be able to show. I'll throw it back to you, Hugh.
Cool. Yeah, not a problem. I think, to be honest, that was they are probably the really big things we wanted to go through, just to get you an update on roadmap stuff, kick off the community fund. And I guess one of the things, perhaps really stepping back, that not a lot of people realize about Nexus is that while we're definitely starting with crypto risks because there's just so many of them out there and you can't get coverage in regular financial markets or the regular insurance industry. We're definitely starting within crypto, but we want to expand and we want to get out and offer products outside the crypto space or outside the really technical crypto space. So things like, as I mentioned before, this liability cover for devs or D&O coverage for crypto businesses and stuff. This is kind of fundamental business insurance type things that don't exist for crypto because no one's willing to cover them. So we're not just about the technical smart contract risks. There's a whole lot more to it. And what we're building is kind of it's generalized for a whole bunch of different products. And so we're really kind of setting the foundations for that now on the technical side, because we've learned a lot after being live for almost 2 years now, which is pretty big achievement. And so we've written a lot of cover, we've paid out claims, we've got a whole experience and knowledge about what's going on and what works and what doesn't work as well. So there's a lot of good stuff to come, and yeah, you expect more products and stuff in the future as we get some more capability. So yeah, anyway, that's just kind of a bit of an overview for me. But yeah, please jump in with questions as you have them. It's just yeah, we're here to answer them.
Just to give you an update, Jack is having some challenge with his audio, but he is trying to get that sorted so he can come to share.
Cool. Just ping us when you're ready, Jack, and we can jump online if you like. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone has any particular questions they'd like to go through. Cool. I know, Ricky, I don't know is there anything wanted to, I don't give a bit of a perspective on, sorry to put you on the spot. Ricky's our head of BD. I was going to get some other people involved and a bit of perspective on how things are going and what we're focusing on.
Yeah, I think from the partnership side, I mean, I get a lot of inbound through community members in terms of which projects we should list. So always feel free to just DM me on Discord if you see any cool projects. Great example of that was like Vesper lately that we listed and got pretty awesome like organic staking and covered by traction, and we're actually also just very in close touch with the team. But yeah, so first of all, like if you have good ideas, because we're such a small team still, so like we don't have a full overview of every new project that's coming online, like feel free to just ping me. And also I'm kind of reaching out to community members who want to get a bit more active from, let's say, an analysis and research perspective. For example, I had a call yesterday with Brave New DeFi that was super helpful to kind of understand, what the data or analysis are that the community would like to see. And that's also something that we kind of had in mind when we essentially spun off the community fund, that a lot of the content as it pertains to like, well, what's happening in the market, what's happening with NXM, that's going to be more community driven. So if you're interested in helping out there, feel free to just like reach out to either Kendria, Hugh, Kaylee, or myself, because we're kind of starting those discussions right now. And we already have a pretty big pipeline now of analysis and frameworks that we're going to release together with a few community members. And I think lastly, because the question I get asked the most is like, when more shield mining? I think with shield mining, we get a lot of shield mining requests, but we do try to kind of like pick out the projects where we think the risk is not too high, and obviously we don't want to spread the stakers too thin. So it's definitely don't worry about our pipeline. It's more like we're trying to pick like the better opportunities for community and and essentially the NXM holders. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to just DM me. Hugh, do you have anything to add?
No, cool. That's good. Thanks, Ricky. And now I'm caught up on the technicals, and I can see that the community call channel has questions, so I'll jump on those now. Incentives about looking up NXM for longer. So we're still considering this type of stuff. I don't think there's any immediate need for it. But I think it's something we should strongly consider. I think in general, one of the directions I'd like to head is have a mechanism where we get a very long-term aligned group. And whether that's whether we stake NXM for longer, and that allows you to participate in governance, or it allows you to vote on claims, or it gives you more staking leverage in staking. I think there's going to be a way that we want to bring forward and cultivate a very long-term aligned group, and then we can potentially reward that group at a higher rate. We also kind of need to potentially take some of the mechanisms away from the kind of advisory board in the longer term. So I think this is a way we can progress on that basis. So probably nothing immediate on that front, but I think of course though we are open to a whole bunch of things, but that's kind of the direction of travel that we're thinking about. Another one. So on the distributor approach for reselling cover, do you plan to allow something similar for staking, allowing other parties to stake on Nexus as a service? So one of the mechanisms we are strongly thinking about when we get to re-looking at the staking, which is a little bit away at the moment, but it is definitely on the list, is a delegated staking approach where you can essentially delegate your staking to an expert, and then they can run that. So you can currently kind of do that through Armor if you want to, as something that's up already doing that. But we're looking to kind of put it at the base protocol level as well. George, what's currently the highest priority, growing demand or anything else? It's it's two things: enhancing the core protocol, but demand growth. Basically, we have enough supply side capital to sell a whole bunch more cover, so we're really going to be focusing on demand. And then once demand gets to a certain level, then we're going to start needing more capital, and the MCR should start growing. So that's kind of our basic. If I had to pick one thing, it'd be demand growth is probably our number one focus. Cool. I can see a few people typing furiously. Oh yeah, a couple of new apps. Yeah, look, you'll definitely pick those up. Barnbridge is one of the been talking to them, and there's a couple of others as well that should be coming soon. So yeah, do list your apps. Layer 2. That's a good call as well. We've been a bit hesitant to listen to layer 2 because smart contract cover doesn't explicitly cover it, and so with protocol cover, we can list them and it will be covered. So that's good. We didn't really want to list something where the cover didn't actually cover the core risk. So that's kind of one of the reasons we were waiting on that side of things. And Archex, yeah, I believe that's Kerman looking after that one, if I got the name right. And so yeah, being also we will sort that one out as well.
Yeah, I think we actually have a call scheduled with them already.
Okay. So. Nice, good work. I don't know, Jack. I don't know if you're still on somewhere. Yeah. I don't know if you've got your sound sorted, but do either type in the Discord or I'm happy for you to jump on if it's working. Can't hear you. Maybe it's not working. Cool. Well, I mean, Jack, if you did want to demo it without sound, then I'm sure you're happy to do that. But if everyone else, you can just the wrapper site there that Jack's put together, which is we do have the original one, which is with that long URL, which I know some people get very scared about. There isn't anything wrong with it, but it is kind of scary. But you can also use Jack's Nexus wrapper site now as well if you wish to. Guys, yeah, what's holding us back for starting investment earnings? Yeah, we ran an issue with Stake D. There wasn't enough liquidity on Uniswap, but we're going to look at. We've got an enhancement coming through that will allow us to directly integrate with Curve, and therefore we'll be able to start putting the capital to work at that point. So that's kind of the key barrier on that one. Individual wallet cover. Yeah, that's a very interesting one. It's actually quite a tricky problem to solve because you can't cover people's private keys directly. So you kind of need some sort of multi-sig setup with a recovery agent or someone like, either a trusted recovery agent or a community-based recovery agent or something like that, that operates under a time lock or something. And then you can create a covered wallet because you can actually cover the recovery agent. So we are definitely considering that type of stuff, possibly off the back of like a Nexus Safe or an Argent type. But it's likely to be linked to that type of wallet rather than just an end user account because, yeah, as I say, if you give me that coverage, I'll double my money. So yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. It's easier said than done, that one. What exactly constitutes increasing demand? Cover buyers, outstanding cover is kind of our key metric that we're looking at there. Basically more sales. And then at some point, I think it's 1.3, 1.4 billion. When we get to that level of cover, the MCR starts driving cover. And then, so we basically don't need more capital pool to write a whole bunch more cover right now. But then once we hit 1.3, 1.4 billion, we will start needing more capital growth, so higher TVL to actually support the cover buys. So that's what's going on there. And to follow up on that last question, why cover buys down? I think underlying there's actually really strong growth, but on top of the more recent growth in January was armor. Cover buys stimulated a bunch of, it's kind of, some of it's not organic demand because it's basically yield farming induced demand. So at some point, people were buying cover just to get the rewards rather than for the actual covers. So some of that demand in January is not kind of organic, but there's a strong trend underneath that. But some of that yield farming driven demand has kind of dropped off. Just kind of going back. Supply demand based pricing. Yes, it will. There's going to be that'll probably come in stages, and it'll be, but some of the supply demand pricing will come earlier than staking, and some of it kind of has to wait for staking. So kind of probably do it in stages. But the curve pull, the only way to get more coverage on curve is to MCR basically. Why is the MCR floor so high? The capital efficiency ratio is less than 200. So basically you're at this point where it's kind of this balance. You want to get enough capital in the pool so you can on protocols, but we also don't want to be too inefficient with the capital usage. And so we're kind of probably in the middle of right now. Ideally, we get the cover purchases up to that 1.4 billion mark, and then we hit the gearing, and then we start growing the MCR organically. But having the MCR floor where it is, I wouldn't say it's high necessarily. We've sold out enough cover on curve. So if it was high, we'd sell more cover on curve. So it's kind of this balance between the mutual works best when we get demand on a diversified basis rather than concentrated basis. And that's helpful that the DeFi market is expanding and more protocols are coming out because that gives us a bigger diversification. What's the basic purpose of the bonding curve? Capital efficiency, basically to attract capital when the mutual needs it, to effectively distribute it when the capital doesn't. Cool. Sorry, Kaylee's just messaged me. Okay, cool. If you click the watch stream on Jack's icon, you can see the new wrapper UI if you'd like to have a look at that.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Okay. I realized that Discord is push to talk as well, so you got to unmute and then push to talk. Okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. Excited to be here. Have been a long time community member, kind of just lurking in the Discord and stuff. Had wrapped and unwrapped my NXM a few times to, take advantage of, different yield farms or, stake on different contracts that I wanted to. And so, I was kind of acutely aware of some of the issues with the current unwrapping wrapping interface. I think primarily for me it was that my balance was fractional and not an integer, and so I was always getting stuck with dust one way or another. This is kind of what I built here. I think it still could do with a little bit of polish. But I think, the bare bones are here. So I guess it's really kind of up to the community, how much further, it makes sense to take it, and, what wallet support, or what wallets do you want the app to support, what's important to the community. I think, just better kind of transaction notification stuff would be good as well. But I think, yeah, it's really up to I guess all of you and kind of what you guys, what the features that you guys want to see in the app. But yeah, I can give a quick demo now, just so anybody who hasn't seen it live in action can see it now. And so I think we should see this balance update. Yep. And so now you have 200 wrapped in XM. And this also supports, fractional balances. So you could do something like this. But yeah, right now it's just supporting MetaMask. I know that there is a button for Wallet Connect, but I still need to hook that up. But yeah, I mean, any feedback, questions, feel free to ping me in the WNXM channel or DM me. I'm definitely happy to help anytime.
Cool, awesome. No, thanks, Jack. It's been a bit of a pain point for a few members for that out there, and use it if you wish. Cool. I'm just going to jump back into the community calls channel. Make sure I haven't missed any questions. Doesn't look like it. Very good. Okay, so last chance. We finish up here, but I think just dump them in the chat channel if you want. And then I can after that I'll hand over to Kendria to go through the Pope stuff, which is exciting to have this. So we're kind of exploring some NFT type things around here. So keep your ears out and keep up to date about what's going on, because there's probably a few things going to be happening over the next few months along that front with Popes and NFTs and different stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Just give 1 more minute for questions before passing over to Kendria to talk through the Pope stuff. Sorry, a few people furiously typing in the chat channel, so give it another little bit and then we can go from there. Oh yeah, we've got the NFT. But go and have a look at that. Garcia's put some good stuff together, so yeah, have a look. Imagine Ethereum hard forks this summer. What will Nexus do with the pool on the fork chain? Yeah, good question. I have thought about that one. I don't really know the answer. My gut feeling is to pick a chain and then sell the assets on the fork chain and then convert them and put them back into Ether and it benefit them mutual, I guess. I think that's the thing that probably makes the most sense. For a fragmented liquidity pool running two separate mutuals doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. That's probably my thought. I'm more worried about what MakerDAO that's going to do. If we have a contentious fork, then that's probably the biggest risk. Cool. All right. Well, I might finish the kind of questions there. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved, and really looking forward to more involvement from and we do have some really kind of exciting stuff on the development side of things. So yeah, keep an eye out for updates there. The UI keeps getting updated quite regularly, so fun stuff to find as well. So yeah, check back in quite regularly. Yeah, really great to have you, and thanks for all the questions. Kendria, did you want to just give the quick instructions on the Pope stuff?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to shout out and thank the good people at Pope for designing our badge for today, which is a proof of attendance. Patricio and our designer, artist extraordinaire, Guadalupe have done this. So I'm really, really excited to be able to have this for us all today. So the instructions are actually very simple. So where you've been typing your questions, which is in our community calls under the general tab, which is a non-speaking one, you will simply just DM the Pope box. So it's at POAP dash BOT, and then it's going to ask you for the secret word, and the secret word for today is capital CC1, community call number 1. So CC1. Once you go ahead and DM the bot, it will send you instructions on how to collect it. Now, the amazing thing is that this is a gasless transaction for you to receive your badge on the XDI. And again, thank you for Patricio and the amazing people at Pope for being able to give us this benefit and extend that to our community members. So again, my hearty thanks to you all at Pope. You've been amazing, and it's pretty awesome, especially in this day and age where NFTs are going crazy, to be able to provide these badges for our community. So thank you very much. So at the conclusion of this call, you'll have about 10 more minutes to be able to claim that, and then it will expire. So go and grab your badge for your participation today. And we are really looking forward to the next one. All right. Thank you so much, Hugh.
Great, thanks, Kendra. Yep, so get in that channel. Thanks, Patricio, again from me. Patricio is an early Nexus way back seed round style. So good to have you back doing Pope stuff. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Great to see you all. Looking forward to catching up next time. Bye.